Well, there's lots to get through today, so I won't mess about. Did you know hospitals in the United States charge up to £800 for an IV bag of sterile salt water? The average manufacturer price is about $1. If Adam and Eve were truly the first people on earth, then who built the much older Greater Sphinx of Africa, and where did their sons' wives come from? 6000 AD, 26,000 years for the Sphinx. These profound contradictions exist because the Bible is not a history book, it is a work of fiction that the gullible and naive accept as facts. BBC, Capita. Take notice, no TV licence needed at this address. No contract written or verbal with BBC or Capita. So sod off back to your paedophile HQ. Have a nice day. The Occupier. Do you know why the government doesn't negotiate with terrorists? Because they are the terrorists. On an average day in the UK, 3,700 are forced to visit a food bank. 5,400 suffer domestic violence. 4,750 sleep rough on the streets. 4 migrants arrive in a boat across the channel. Guess which one the government is classing as a crisis? That puts it in perspective, doesn't it? Here are some of Tory MP David Davies' expenses claims. £46 to change a light bulb, £640 on a flax carpet, £914 to roll a paddock, £647 for his gardener, £658 doing up his kitchen, £414 to have his mower fixed. Wow. £5,700 for new portico at his house. £8,000 for 5,000 gallons of heating oil. These bastards pay for nothing. And on top of that, any expenses, they just stick it on expenses. So they get all the wages on top. Here's the deal. Israel is not our friend and they never have been. They are our #1 enemy and our worst nightmare. Wake up. Zionists are holding all our governments hostage and controlling everyone with the financial system. Wake up already. Unalienable rights. Unalienable rights are the inherent sovereign natural rights that existed before the creation of the state, and which, being antecedent, I think they spelled it wrong, to the above, the state can never be taken away, diminished, altered or levied by the state, except by due process of law, nor can any unalienable right be fundamentally removed or waived by contract, whether by non-disclosure, which is fraud and unenforceable in law, or knowingly by sufferance, which is contrary to the spirit of the law, and prejudicial to the sovereign. The original permanent unalienable rights are every man and woman, include every man, woman and child, the right to life, freedom, health and the pursuit of happiness. Well, that's one that they've got rid of. The right to contract or not to contract, which is unlimited, another one they've ignored. The right to earn a living income by being compensated with wages or a salary in a fair exchange for one's work. Yeah, that's gone. The right to travel in the ordinary course of one's life and business. You'll find out that that's been destroyed as we talk. The right to privacy and confidentiality, free from unwarranted invasion. The right to own and hold property lawfully without trespass. The right to self-defence when threatened with harm, loss or damage or deceit. The right to due process of law with notice and opportunity to defend. The right to presume innocent, suffering no detention or arrest, no search or seizure without reasonable cause. The right to remain silent when accused to avoid self-incrimination. The right to equality in the eyes of the law and to equal representation. Well, that's a load of rubbish. Not that it's there. I mean, what they've done, they just ignore it. The right to trial by jury, being an impartial panel of one's peers. They also stop that whenever they can. The right to appeal in law against conviction or sentence or both. The right to expose knowledge necessary to one's rights and freedoms. which is what I've been doing. The right to peacefully associate, assemble, express and protest. And they're trying to stop that. The right to practice a religion and to have beliefs that of one's choosing. Well, it's only if, according to the government, it's only Muslims that are actually allowed to have religion, but that's part of the divide and conquer bullshit. The right to love and to consensual marriage with children and as a family. The right to security from abuse, persecution, tyranny and war. Well, every government's guilty of that one. The right to refuse to kill under command by reason of conscience. The right to live in peace and be left alone when law-abiding. Surely the most critical failure to the people is the failure to ensure the teaching and common knowledge of their unalienable rights. If you do not know your rights, you effectively have none. By the path of ignorance, whether by apathy or deception, the people arrive in a state of exploitation, oppression and tyranny. We should all be printing this off and carrying it round with us. And then when a cop comes up and tries to intimidate you, bang. 99% the media. The media cannot hold back the truth any longer. The cracks are already visible. Water's pissing through already. It's game over. Nobody is born a warrior. You choose to be one when you refuse to stay seated. You choose to be one when you refuse to back down. You choose to be one when you stand up after getting knocked down. You choose to be one because if not you, then who? 700 people died last year sleeping rough on the streets. 70 people have tried to cross the channel to the UK since November. Guess which one Savage Javid is calling a crisis? By way of deception, thou shalt do war. Mossad, false flag warning system. Global threat level red. Threat danger imminent. As they tried in France with that cop with a bomb. Your conspiracy theories are just that. They're not set in stone, you know. The depopulation agenda is literally written in stone, not a conspiracy at all. And that's the Georgia Guidestones. Look it up if you've not heard of them. It's written in 8 different languages. They plan to depopulate the planet. So, in actual fact, it is written in stone. World-class journalist spills the bean, admits mainstream media is completely fake. I've been a journalist for about 25 years and I was educated to lie, to betray and not to tell the truth to the public. But seeing right now within the last months how the German and American media tries to bring war to the people in Europe, to bring war to Russia, this is a point of no return, and I'm going to stand up and say it is not right what I have done in the past to manipulate people, to make propaganda against Russia, and it is not right what my colleagues do and have done in the past, because they are bribed to betray the people, not only in Germany, all over Europe. Shameless. Tory Chris Grayling blames rail staff for eye-watering train fares. I'm not going to go into this because there's a few on this one. London violence. 2 dead, 4 hurt in knife and gun attacks. Rough sleeper found dead in Malvern on Christmas Day. But, you know, what was that spineless MP? There's not like there's any dead in the streets. The Queen secretly lobbied the government for a new yacht, letters reveal. So, this bitch, the richest woman on the planet, wants us to pay for another yacht for her. Revealed, Hampshire's top cop nets £201,000 pay package as council tax bills increase to fund police. I think we need to end this bullshit, don't you? Rail users to mount National Day of Action over 3.1% fare rise. Is the public finally waking up, finally becoming aware of the corruption? Is this backbone finally starting to grow back? We'll see. Macron is desperate. Fishing boss fires back at French leaders' threats. French President Macron is attempting to distract attention from his plunging popularity ratings by attacking Britain's plan to take back control of its fishing rights after Brexit. Fishing boss Simon Collins. Heaven forbid we, the British nation, would actually say, this is our water, we're fishing in it, no one else. Oh no, we can't have that. But that's already been signed away by the treasonous May anyway. The Yellow Vest movement has spread like wildfire across the world because everyone's had enough of the corruption. Sajid Javid gets tough on channel migrants and suggests they are not genuine asylum seekers because they refuse to stay in perfectly safe France. I believe this is a push for Sajid Javid to go for Prime Minister. And he's saying what we've all known for years now. We've all known that is the way it is. So he's just doing this to try and earn brownie points for those that are dumb enough to actually believe that he's actually going to implement that, because he's brought the Navy boats back to make sure they get to Britain safely, not to return them. Don't forget that. Spent $4,500 on new rail ticket and first train of 2019 is cancelled. Furious passengers protest price hikes of up to $150 a year from today, despite punctuality falling to a 13-year low and 1 in 7 trains being delayed. Cost of many season tickets rose by more than £100 due to annual price hike for no reason. Don't need to. No increased cost just because, well, we do it every year. Campaigners describe it as another kick in the wallet for passengers today. Transport Secretary Chris Grayling blames trade unions for the fare increase, not the fact that it's been privatised and private companies have one single thing to do: make profit, increase profit. That's the real reason. Rail industry insists vast majority of fares revenue covers daily running cost. Utter bullshit. 5G wireless networks could kill you and the environment, scientists claim. Wireless networks are deadly to human beings and can cause some of the most deadly diseases known to modern civilization. It has been claimed by scientists. The world's 5G smartphones will be rolling out in 2029, but it could potentially spell disaster for humans and the environment, according to a group of scientists, because it's an energy weapon basically, and they're just selling it as, oh, it's faster broadband and, you know, bullshit. Syria says the Western rogue states must confess their crimes against humanity and be held accountable. The problem is the only one that's going to be able to hold them accountable is you and me, and if we don't stand up together as one, they'll continue to get away with it. But this is Syria, a state that's been attacked by many nations for no reason whatsoever apart from it's the plan, telling the truth. It's about time we all stood up and told the truth. I've been doing it for years. Time for everyone else to do it. Spread these videos amongst your friends and just see what happens. Who knows? They might think I'm crazy, you're crazy, or they might just say, you know, I've suspected that all along. Police to pay thousands in compensation to Sheffield tree campaigners over groundless arrests. The police totally, with no rule, no excuse whatsoever, decide they're going to arrest you. But who pays for it? Well, that's no problem. We'll just hike your council tax so you pay for it. Time to end this frigging corruption. Former President of Haiti, Senator Bernard Sansriki, exposes Clinton Corporation in Haiti in exclusive interview. So the evidence mounts that Clinton is not just an utter criminal, all of them, but child traffickers as well. Chris Grayling claims giving Brexit ship contract to firm with no ships is no problem. It's another backhanded deal by a bunch of crooks. White House lawyer Giuliani, Assange should not be prosecuted. Now let's not forget that Giuliani was the mayor of New York on 9/11, and in World Trade Center 7, also known as the Solomon Brothers building, he had his emergency management centre with bulletproof glass, its own generators and all that. And yet, strangely, on 9/11, he decided, rather than go to the building that's specifically set up to deal with this type of thing, he decided to go down by the docks and set up a camp down there. Did he know World Trade Center 7, the Solomon Brothers building, was going to come down? Of course he did. He's as involved in it as any of them. Give us our fuel price cut. Retailers accused of pocketing windfall after oil plummets. Greedy supermarkets are pocketing huge profits from the fall in the oil price instead of cutting costs at the pump, experts have warned. Motorists are overdue a hefty cut of around 4p per litre after oil suffered its worst year since 2015, according to the RAC. The price of Brent crude, the international benchmark for oil, slumped by nearly 20% last year and is now at around $53.8 a barrel. Everything's corrupt. Everything. Driver with 60 points on their licence is still not banned from driving after being caught speeding 19 times. Now, what I take from this is, A, they use the word driver when you're a traveller. Driver, they can control; traveller, they can't. And points, well, points made up, they don't apply to men or women, they only apply to the person. And it's another attack on the travelling general population that want to travel free and unhindered, as was mentioned in the Universal Declaration of Inalienable Rights I mentioned at the near the beginning. Drivers can expect their car tax to increase by up to £65 from April 2019. A further attack on us, anyone wanting to travel freely and unhindered. Well, if you have to fork out massive amounts, then it's not freely and unhindered, is it? It's a further attack on travelling. As I've said all along, they don't want us travelling. And if you want to see, it's in there. I've got the link. The link will be at the end because there's so many of them, but it tells you the different class and what they're going to go up to. I've also started a new shipping company with no ships. Can I have 13.8 million of government contracts, or more correctly, taxpayers' money? That's how ridiculous it is. The government have given a contract, a shipping contract, to a company that has no ships. More corruption guaranteed. Yellow Vest protests over councillors' greed was very English and civilised. And that's the problem. We're too English and too civilised. We're damn pissed at you for being a corrupt bastard. 42 million people killed in leading cause of death worldwide in 2018. It wasn't from guns or democide. If you can believe it, more human beings died as a result of abortion around the world than those murdered by guns or by democide in 2018. So basically, this is like Planned Parenthood, where it's nothing about Planned Parenthood. It's about depopulation, and so more humans are killed by being, you know, which is textual protection. Don't get pregnant in the first place if you don't want a kid. Germany braces for its own Yellow Vest movement as left-wing get-up leaders vows to take to the streets in 2019. Sarah Wagenknecht set up Athens movement Get Up in Germany last year, amid to aim to rival fortunes of the left by attracting people from across party lines. She said she has taken inspiration from Yellow Vest movement in France 2018. 49-year-old claimed to have big plans to get up for Get Up, which has 170,000 members. Let's see where it goes. Could be controlled opposition, could be to detract from the Yellow Vest. We'll see. Ex-Merck employer turned anti-vax activist, now terrorised by Big Pharma Black Ops branch. But why? If they're doing nothing wrong, they've got nothing to fear, have they? Again, if you want to read the full story, it's in the links at the end. Help Amy Burgess by supporting her against her child being adopted. It's a petition, and they need a few more supporters. Get on there and think. I know if it's a petition, it's begging, but if it gets it done, it gets it done. And all it needs is for you to sign saying, yeah, I'm not saying anything, just sign saying, yeah, Forced adoption should be stopped immediately. Multiple Catholic priests exposes the practice of Satanism within the Vatican. Again, that's one you can read yourself. I've been banging on about that for quite a while now. Why should Britain offer asylum to people who would rather not make their home in France? I agree. Absolutely. And that's because we've got a bent government that has told them they can have houses. Well, we've got men, women and children on the street. There'll be a house for you here. The benefits will be for you here. No problem whatsoever. But what about those on the streets? Oh, well, they come after you because, you know, you're not indigenous. We don't want to mix Islam with our culture. It's not good. Hungarian Prime Minister. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban has criticised countries that mix two cultures and think it will create something new and think it created something new and good. I agree, he's right there. You know, if you want to come, but your culture stays with you in your private. You don't spread it all over the place like it's happened in Birmingham and London. Cannabis campaign mum plans to take East Kilbride boy to Spain to cure stroke-like seizures. Now, although it's been you can get cannabis now from the doctors, they make it so hard it's virtually impossible. So it was just another false flag. That's why they're having to go abroad to get it to cure the seizures, because it's legal in Spain. Which just shows it's all more bullshit from the lying government, which, you know, we all know. Neighbourhoods in Brussels out of control. Emergency services tricked and attacked. Firemen in Brussels had to flee from using the multicultural suburb of Molenbeek several times. The fire brigade unit is sick of it. Belgium newspaper NHL. During New Year's Eve, the fire brigade were attacked with stones and fireworks after a house burned to the ground as firemen had to wait for police protection. Now they say multicultural, but they actually mean the immigrant areas. That's what they mean. And if they're going to act like this, send them back. Daily Fail. Jack Shepherd got 6 years jail for killing Charlotte, 24, and went on the run. In a monstrous effort for justice, he's now using your money to appeal. While still in hiding today, the Daily Mail offers £25,000 reward to help catch this killer. British scientists device set to revolutionise diagnosis, the cancer breathalyzer. Express. Schumacher family tribute to stricken F1 face on his 50th. Yeah. Javid asks, are Channel migrants genuine? We know they're not. Minister reveals EU exit plan. Brace yourself, Ray. No deal Brexit. Oh, really? Oh, well, that's shocking, because that's what we've been expecting all along anyway. Publicity Blitz will advise on healthcare and travel. They're trying to make it worse than what it is. Oh, no deal. Oh, well, that's affected me. Not at all. Cold Feet star on marriage, passionate affair and loving 51, blah, blah, blah. Metro, Rochelle, my stutter helped me to stardom. 12,700 air tickets sold by mistake for £530. Oh, £12,700 of those tickets sold for £530. Okay. Just 1 pence universal credit for a month. Government has to go. Even more of a crush hour on our trains. Labour carriages will soon be 200% overcrowded, but we're increasing the fares even more. If you've not had enough yet, you've not been paying attention. Javid, I doubt boat migrants are genuine, really. Luther fight bus terror. 60-second with Shirley Ballas. The Times, romps, royals and lesbians and drinking blood, killing children, raping children. You missed that part out. Wonder why. Universities face credit crunch as debt spirals. Borrowing tops 10 billion in race to attract students. Police failed woman sent to Somalia for marriage, and the first best British skier apparently. Mirror, how supersized families become the must-have for every A-lister. Oh, but if you're poor, the planet's overpopulated and you should only have 1 or 2 kids maximum. Bravery of Billy Connolly. I feel my life slipping away, but I'm not scared. Maybe he knows that there's no such thing as death. The Guardian. Corbyn defies Labour course to seek second referendum. What we will do is vote against having no deal. We'll vote against May's deal. Low-calorie sweeteners may not aid weight loss. Shock! You mean aspartame might not actually help you lose weight, might actually make you fatter and kill your brain cells? Been saying that for a long time. Pedo Pope shows skills. Trains are packed to the near double capacity, and we're still increasing the prices because we've got one job: make money for our shareholders. Aye. NASA finds snowman at the edge of our solar system. Fake news. Sheridan Smith learning to clean for my new role and my massive meltdown. Javid warns of crackdown on migrants. If you are a genuine asylum seeker, why have you not sought asylum in the first safe country you arrived in? We all know that. Worst overcrowding on British trains in decade. Deborah Orr on Britain billing girls who escape from forced marriages. Cancer breath test trialled in UK. Simple device could save thousands of lives a year through early detection. Scientists deliver. Not if you're going to use chemo or radio or any of that sort of shit on them, it won't. Cheaper method sound alarm. Quicker by spotting changes to the molecules that we exhale. Medics say breathalyzer has potential to revolutionise the way we diagnose cancer. So it's a way of inventing more patients, creating more patients. That's all. Waste of paper star. Abby Baby 4, Rick Rat 4 Flakes, App Days Shoe, Britain in freezer, Iceland blast spark, major health alerts. Well, at least they're not blaming the Russians like they normally do. The Telegraph. Javid calls on Navy to save lives in Channel. Home Secretary asks for more vessels as he questions migrants' need for asylum, but we'll bring them to this country anyway, not take them back to France. My mother protected me in Hollywood. Davis says May should delay Brexit deal vote. Well, nothing in that rag. Anything but independent. You can give the greatest gift of all. Well, you're a multi-millionaire. Why don't you try giving some, Elton? Can global firms afford to be moral? Well, if they're not, they should be destroyed. New experiences don't stop at 50. The path that leads to final say vote. Oh, you see, they're still pushing the final referendum, the one they want, so that they can fix it so that we remain, which has been the plan all along, as I've said all along. Outcries ruin pray in Hindu temple. Javid condemned over hostile migrant claims. Home Secretary vows to block asylum for those crossing Channel, but he's going to bring them into the country, then he's going to drag it out for a couple of years, and then he'll let them in anyway. So that's the way they do things in government. Lie. Financial Times. The role of investors as value creator is changing. China is gaining ground in the fuel cell race. Driverless car run more smoothly without people. Well, it's not much point, is there? Tesla tumbles as sales figures suggest tough year ahead. Brightness dims as amid Wall Street's chaos. Fear for mass market pushes hit stop. Chaos. New world order out of chaos. Masters of Illusion, Raffles imagined as Britain's look to Singapore model.